playing a game, and I think 2 people came on in the total thing. So it wasn't worth doing. Do I have a glasses cleaning cloth here? I'll just use my shirt because they've somehow got dirty despite the fact I cleaned them earlier. I haven't done anything that should have gotten them dirty. There we go. Okay, so let me open up the YouTube thing on the PC and see if anybody gets notified that I'm on like this. Because like I keep saying, what really, really annoys me of YouTube is how certain things they just don't share anymore. So it's kind of like they're breaking their own platform because they don't know what they want to promote on their own platform. And, you know, it's just getting to be a waste of time in a lot of ways. But because there's no good competitor to YouTube, you've got the problem that, like I said, that they can do shit things, and there's not really, like, there's TikTok and other things, but always, so there's not like a normal proper video competitor to YouTube. So it's one of those things that, like, you know, they can make bad decisions and they don't really get ramifications for those decisions. So anyway, let me get the main chat up and we'll see if anyone comes on. But because it's such a hot day and that, if this stream doesn't really get anybody on for a while, I'm just going to, you know, not bother. So we'll see. I see somebody has already given it a like, so thank you whoever did that. But hopefully we get some people in the chat. So like I said, it's just a case with YouTube now, where I was complaining about with what they're doing to shorts. They're basically completely breaking shorts. They tried to push it as a thing. It sort of worked. But now what they're doing is, as of February next year, you have to have 3.33 million views essentially on shorts a month, or it's a 90-day rolling 10 million thing, so 3.33 million a month essentially. And if you don't get that, they completely demonetize your shorts. So what's going to end up happening with it is that people are going to, most people aren't going to bother with shorts at all. The only people that will be making shorts are the ones where it's like AI channels that spam out 10 videos a day, because if they spam out loads of clickbait trash content, that will still probably get the views to take them over the thing on YouTube to get the number of views that YouTube wants. So shorts are just going to be nothing but slop. So it's them shooting themselves in the foot. Every normal person can see this is a problem, but YouTube is doing it anyway. So, you know, again, another shitification of a platform online. So hopefully you get some people on. So what's in the news in my area? Well, not in my area, but piles of scorched belongings and homes destroyed as West Midlands fire crew continue to tackle blaze. There was a big wildfire that's put 54 people in hospital or, like, you know, injured. And what do you call it? You know, not good. Like I said, in my area, there was like a brief electricity problem where they had to switch, I guess, one of the substations because one of the substations caught on fire or just stopped working. Oh, and apparently that fire started the other day because A-level students had a disposable barbecue. So I think they should be criminally held liable for that. No, I don't think I want to watch one. But like I said, the problem is with YouTube Shorts is it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing overall. But the problem with it is, like I said, it's that all they're doing is promoting more and more and more clickbait bullshit with it. Because of the fact that, like I said, that they just don't seem to understand what people actually want to watch, compared to what they think people want to watch, and they're just going to keep making it worse and worse and worse. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, like I said, that's not good. So yeah, but nothing any of the creators can do about it. I mean, if everybody stops making shorts because of the fact that, you know, they've completely been desensitized from making them, not desensitized, demotivated, whatever, de-incentivized. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, it's YouTube shooting themselves in the foot again. But again, all these big companies now seem to be so out of touch with why people actually use their platforms. So yeah, not good, but nothing we can do about it. But yeah, there's already 7 people watching this and 3 likes. So yeah, as usual, if I do a video that's vertical, a lot more people come on. And I say a lot, but you know what I mean. YouTube shares it to some degree, but like I said, if I'm on here for 20 plus minutes and there's not many people on, I'll just stop this, because like I said, the weather is not nice for doing this today anyway, with lights on like this. That's why I was doing a game stream, and then YouTube didn't send it to anyone. I would send it to Blades of Military, and I think one other person said hello very briefly. But you know, it's the usual thing that you can't just upload content to YouTube anymore and have it shared with your subscribers. Why would they do that? You know, you have to keep chasing the ever-moving goalposts of what YouTube wants you to do, and then they change their mind again. So, like, I think I've complained about this before, but in YouTube's analytics, it gives you advice for your channel, and mine fluctuates between don't make as many videos, but make higher quality videos. And then when you do that, it says, oh no, you need to make more like shorts. So YouTube literally can't decide what it wants you to do as a creator. And then, like I said, they're now completely de-incentivizing creators from doing shorts, because they're making the goalpost so high now on what you have to do with shorts as of February to be monetized for them, that no actual human beings are going to bother. So it's well done, you know, well done, YouTube, well done. You have completely misread the room again. You know, you're going to do a thing that is not going to incentivize anyone to make good quality content, because the only way you're going to get the 10 million views every rolling 90 days to be in the system now is to just spam out clickbait content, like 10 videos a day. So they're going to make shorts completely unusable. You know, and again, if shorts died out and it was only proper videos on YouTube, I think that might actually be a good thing, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think, like I said, it's just going to be YouTube is going to incentivize everybody to just make crap, basically. So yeah, like I said, that's annoyed me, as you can probably tell. I don't make very much from shorts, but it's one of those things of like, oh, okay, so it's just another thing YouTube encouraged people to do for ages, and now they fucked you over for doing it. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, if people want to bring stuff up, bring stuff up. But like I said, looks like the wildfire yesterday was started by idiots with a disposable barbecue. I hope the people that did that get like 10 plus years in prison, but I doubt they will. For, like, you know, causing loads of people to lose their homes and people to be injured and a waste of massive resources. Because, oh, let's use a fucking disposable barbecue in a dry field. But, you know, if that was the case, hope they get the book thrown at them, but no, in this country they won't. Oh. And I bet that's going to encourage even more idiots to do arson and whatever else, because of the fact that, like, oh yeah, if you can start a fire really easily that ruins people's lives and nobody gets in trouble for it, like proper trouble for it, you know, why wouldn't they do that? Yeah, and also it's because, Blades, that because you can't even click away from them fast enough, YouTube decides that people have watched typically more than 100% of your video, therefore it's a good video. So the longer your video is, the less retention you have, just because of how metrics work. And then YouTube goes, oh, see, your videos are not very good because most people didn't watch the entire video. Whereas somebody that made a tiny little short that got shitloads of views and everybody couldn't click away fast enough because everybody technically watched 100% of your short, wow, that therefore is a good video. Like I said, it's insane. It is literally insane, but you know, it's called enshittification, all these things are doing. Well, they use a metric system. It's not the problem that they're using metric versus imperial, but yeah, it's the, oh, and to make matters worse with the shorts thing, they're saying that the 10 million views you have to get have to be verified views, whatever that means. So again, it means they'll probably disqualify loads of real views, say they're not real, so therefore they can take 100% of the revenue from them, and it won't be shared with the creator. Oh, inside joke, is it? Anyway, so like I said, that's just another bad thing. And like I said, the fact just now I did a proper widescreen stream, barely anybody was told I was doing it. Yeah, YouTube notifications are broken. And like I said, this is the problem, because when you have monopolies, this is what happens. This is why you need healthy competition, where if one place is doing a bad service, people go elsewhere, and then the bad service has to be improved. But when there's no incentive for people to do that, yeah, you get the situation we've got now. I'm going to put the red light on because this one's a bit glaring in my eyes and it's giving off loads of heat. So yeah, sorry if that doesn't look great, but you know, like I said, it's 32 Celsius where I'm sitting. Let me do pop-out chat so I can read the chat messages more easily. Then I'll put a white screen on the computer. Hang on, white screen. There we go. And I put the chat there. That should light me up a bit better. And Blade says, here's an idea. Carry on making your reg 10-minute videos, but divide it up to about 50 videos at the back of shorts. Yeah, but you can't easily cut them. That's the problem. That it's not like there's an easy tool on YouTube when you make a normal video to just do it into shorts. And I'm not going to spend ages clipping a regular video into crap content. Because like I said, what's going to happen then is you're just going to do stuff where actual people that watch your videos will unsubscribe because they feel like you're taking a piss. So like I said, you've got this system now where to win on YouTube, you just need to make the shittest possible content that's spammed out. In your right public morale channel. But it's just all these companies do not seem to realize that they're killing their own platforms by doing this. But they're doing it anyway. And it doesn't matter how many people tell them it's a bad idea. They're like, no, we know best. This is a good idea. And then it goes back very, very badly wrong. So, yeah, I reckon after I've done this stream, I might have a nap for a bit because it's so hot. And I slept like shit last night. I just, like I said, because it was so hot. I might just try and see if I can get a nap in and sort of get some maybe okay quality sleep for a couple of hours. Member of the Illuminati, yeah. But yeah, so like I said, wildfires in the UK. There was a train derailment as well yesterday that might have been due to the heat, just because of all the crap going on with high temperatures and whatever else. But yeah, anyway, people just bring up what you want to bring up and chat about. We'll have a chat about whatever. But yeah, not much good stuff in the news, I'm afraid. Yeah, but in the UK, we're in like the heat wave that keeps hitting France and that. We're in like that bit of the bubble of the temperatures. An Overlander says, goodness, it's too hot. I can't imagine wearing a gas mask in a seat. It sticks your face about the air. With a PAPR, it wouldn't be so bad, but it still wouldn't be great. Like I said, I'm just glad, and even my mum was saying this now, that I'm not doing the job I used to work in, because if it's 35, say, C outside today, where I used to work, it would be 45 to 50 C because of no aircon, metal and glass roofs where I used to work, machinery pumping out heat. Yeah, big cojones. And like I said, it's YouTube themselves. I'm just going to take this out because it's too hot for nicotine. YouTube themselves are promoting all this crap. So it's just 6-7 says Army Gear Bros. Are you a brain rot enthusiast, Army Gear Bros? But yeah, it's just, yeah. What a great time to be alive, eh? Cost of food and everything is skyrocketing, and everywhere is taking more and more money, stuff away from normal people. So yeah, that's that. I think Farage won, didn't he, against Binface the other day? I didn't really even look today. Yeah, Farage won his by-election. Railways safe during heat waves, insists train boss after derailment. And the guide says, oh, it had nothing to do with soaring heat. The train just derailed because of a buckled track for no reason. Also, this might be clickbait, but let me have a look at this. The police didn't do anything about my parcel thief, so I took matters into my own hands. Armed with a camera and some cardboard boxes, I caught the man plundering our post, but that wasn't enough for the Met. Well, of course it wasn't. They didn't say anything offensive against the minority, or whatever. But yeah. Aren't we living in a failed society? Hell in a handbasket, exactly, yeah. Not health and safety failures, Blaze Military. In the UK, there is no maximum working temperature. There is a minimum, no maximum, so companies don't have to provide you with AC or good temperatures. Yeah, again, it's don't believe your lying eyes, don't believe your lying ears. A train derails because the heat buckled a track. Nothing to do with the heat. Keep riding our trains. Yeah. And like I said earlier, where I was today, luckily it didn't crash the computer when I was in the middle of doing anything important. But the power went out briefly because there's power cuts in some of the area near me, and with me, they obviously had to switch which relay we were on or whatever. But yeah, again, due to the heat, like overheating substations. I thought I broke my Casio watch earlier. Luckily, I didn't. But I put it in the windowsill to charge up, like, you know, they advise you to. And it was so bloody hot that the watch, like, the screen conked out, and it was literally like you'd burn yourself if you touched the metal on it because of how hot it got. So when I next put it in the windowsill, I'm just going to do it on one of the ones that faces the north or south side of the house, not the east or west, so it gets a bit of light, but it's not direct sunlight. Well, again, a broken clock can be right twice a day, can't it? It's not like Russia's a democracy, though. But yeah, we are. Everywhere is getting shitter and shitter. Maybe not China. Like I said, I'll shill for the CCP if potentially. There's lots of problems in China, but at least like people have jobs and that there. But yeah, it's just one of those crazy things, the UK now. Yeah, but again, it's like the data center thing, isn't it, Vamk, where they can get away with things normal plebs like us can't have. Yeah, super AC for servers, but not for people. Yeah, like I said, I'm just not going to put this watch again in the. I'll just put it on any of the east or north or south facing windows, because that way they get some sunlight, but it's not going to get stupidly hot. Yeah, like I said, I'm just feeling a bit ill today, like, you know, headachy, feel a bit faint, you know, because of even drinking lots of water. It's just so hot, even trying to run AC or whatever else. So like I said, I'll stream for a little bit and then I'll probably have a nap. I need to take some pictures of a night vision unit Saint wants to buy. So I'm just going to take the pictures of that and then list it for sale later on today and direct link him to it. But like I said, at the moment, I can't be bothered to do anything like that while it's so fucking hot. Because, yeah, I think I'm just going to put my really strong fan on in my bedroom, lay in front of the fan, and maybe just listen to a podcast and see if I can doze off. Because, like, last night, my bedroom didn't get below 30 Celsius, and it's cooler than this room. And even then, like I said, it took me to like 3 a.m. to fall asleep, and then it was not good quality sleep. Yeah, like I said, Overland, earlier, I have. It is not pleasant. I did a charity fun run in an NBC suit and a mask in the summer before. I walked it like a brisk walk, didn't do a jog. And yeah, that was horrible. There was sweat sloshing around all inside my bits. But yeah, like I said, with a PAPR on, it's not so bad because you've got like a fan constantly blowing air. But yeah, wearing a gas mask in the desert or whatever must be hell. Let me get the proper chat back up on the screen because it's too small to read on my phone. So, Vamcase is fucking roasting, yeah, and with the soldier says, funny story, I make the mosquito fogging worker get scared off because I wear my gas mask to let him fogging in my garage. And it's like, oh. No, I was streaming the game where you metal detect and look for surplus to restore the surplus and sell. But it's currently so janky I gave up on it because, like, you know, game mechanics that just either weren't working properly or they're so weird that I will play it. It does look like an indie game that might be all right, but I just didn't have the patience for it in this heat. Then I was playing like a modern Perfect Dark style game called Agent 64 or whatever it was called. Yeah, like I said, when I was streaming that, YouTube didn't notify people. So other than Blades of Militaria, there was basically nobody on. And yeah, so YouTube not sharing it with people. I said, fuck doing this then, because YouTube's not sharing it with anyone. Yeah, like I said, PAPRs are certainly good for masks that fog up and in the heat, but yeah, like I said, just horrible weather at the moment. We are not built for this in bits of Europe. Like I said, I don't mind the cold at all, because when it's cold, you can just put on more jumpers, more coats or whatever. But when it's really hot, there's just nothing you can do. And like I said, it's the problem in the UK. It's the combination of humidity plus heat. Because some people go, oh, I live in a desert place and it's fine. It's like, yeah, but if you have AC or evaporative cooling in like every building, it's a bit different than when you're somewhere where it's just really humid. Your sweat can't evaporate, you know, and you're just stuck in it. Is the PMK4 even proper GOST, or is it just a PMKS now that's proper GOST? Yeah, you can't build a fire to keep colder, exactly. But I think Hype was saying that weirdly Russia now, one of their modern gas masks isn't even standard GOST anymore. It's like a modern Russian version of GOST that isn't compatible with old GOST or Chinese GOST. So it's like, it's just a fucking dead end, basically. Yeah, it's basically because with gas masks, I won't put them on in the heat, but basically when you exhale, that's why like good masks have Tissot systems and an oral nasal cup. I'll see if I can show one that shows up better. Most of the masks I've got here though are ones where they keep getting caught on random shit. You've got the oral nasal cup in there, so I know the lighting doesn't show that very well, but the vagina-y looking thing is an oral nasal cup. So basically, when you breathe out, it's designed to stop as much air hitting the lenses as possible. And then good masks have a Tissot system that when you breathe in, the cold air is meant to hit the lenses first, so that like it defogs them. But yeah, fuck wearing a gas mask in this heat. Like I said, I'm feeling like faint and a bit sick just with the heat at the moment, and that's with me staying hydrated. I had ice cubes in this; they didn't last long at all. Just going to look, but I bet they're totally gone. Yeah, they're totally gone, even though I put like 5 ice cubes in here to top this up less than an hour ago, or about an hour ago. So yeah, it's just horrible at the moment. Like I said, I think my plan later today, other than the bit I need to do with the night vision for Saint, is to yeah, just what you call it, take the pictures, upload it, link it to him, and then he can have that posted. Have to be basically Monday now, wouldn't it? Because the post isn't really going to work at the weekends. I don't know if our local post office is even. We don't even have a proper post office anymore. It's a counter in the shop. And I don't even know if that's open at the weekends. If you like take a parcel in, if anybody's working there, or if they even like start moving it first. Oh, I'm just going to send Saint a message saying it might be best to do the thing on Monday. Anyway, I'm just seeing if he's all right with that. Yeah, exactly, Devon. Do you have aircon where you work or whatever, or in your vehicles or whatever? Because, like I was saying to people, yeah, like I said, I was doing the redneck carrier thing the other day, which is a great idea, where you get a plate carrier and put ice blocks in it. That works really well. Not ice blocks like ice cubes that melt, but, you know, like freezer blocks, like gel freezer blocks or water freezer blocks. But yeah, like I said, the old job I used to do, the company that bought us out ripped all the aircon out because that cost money for the plebs. And it's a metal and glass building, so it got hotter than the outside anyway, because you're under a tin roof, essentially. And then we had machinery running and stuff like that was generating heat. So if it's a 35-degree day outside, it's going to be like 45 where I used to work. And they didn't even like people in the end taking like little mini breaks to just hydrate and cool down a bit. So the company was even trying to stop that, because why should workers have that privilege, eh? Not burning to death in a building. Well, not burning to death, we weren't on fire, but you know what I mean, not. Yeah, I also have a thermos that's good public morale channel. That's good overnight, because the thermos at least means that when you've got cold water in there, if you know, like have a bit of a drink, you reseal it, like, you know, wake up in the night, want some more water, it's still cold. So I normally have a thermos at night with cold water in. But yeah, like I said, the thermos, if you don't put very cold water in it, it takes quite a long time in the fridge to actually get cold, like the water inside, because obviously it's a thermos. But it is good, at least when it is cold, for just staying really cold. So yeah. Yeah, with a soldier said, so yeah, FMJ08 and FMJ05 are good if you need to multitask it for cosplaying and doing actual work. Yeah, that's the same with a lot of good mil-spec masks and good civilian industrial masks. Good for cosplay, good for actual use. Yeah, I know, but like I said, don't sadly have many glass bottles. I don't like keep beer bottles or whatever after I've used them. I mean, I don't. Does any company sell like good quality glass screwable bottles for like refilling? But like I said, my metal thermos works well because you can just put cold water in it with a couple of ice cubes, and then a bit later on it is properly cold in there. Oh, good. They at least condemned it where you are, Blades Military. Like I said, where I used to work, plebs can get on and enjoy it. Yeah, you can put it in the freezer briefly as well. That works. But our freezer's currently not really got any space in it because it's full of ice cream, ice lollies, and ice blocks. Yeah, I know about that, Devon. We've talked about that before. And yeah, seems like a good idea, but I can't afford any airsoft stuff at the moment. Good for people who have the money for it. But like I said, years ago, I'd have done that. But at the moment, like I said, I can't really afford to, even if it's like only 30 quid a year for the membership, can't really justify that to then buy an airsoft gun. Because again, I'm trying to sell stuff like that off to get a bit of money in. Because like I said, at the moment, cost of living keeps going up. Now YouTube's adding insult to injury with the thing that regular creators can't really make any money anymore out of shorts, even though it wasn't very good money before. Because like I said, for the people that didn't know, did a video on this earlier, lots of channels are talking about this. YouTube is doing a thing as of February next year, where with shorts, over a rolling 90 days, you have to have over 10 million verified views on your shorts, or YouTube completely demonetizes them and you don't get a penny. But YouTube will definitely still be keeping ads on them, so they get 100% of your shorts. So all that's going to lead to is people just making clickbait shit shorts and spamming them out. So it's just going to be, there won't be any good shorts at all at that point, because actual creators won't make them because they won't get enough views on their shorts. You know, there might still be a couple of legit creators that can manage it, but it's just going to go to shit. So it's literally like where it used to be with shorts, channels like mine, like loads of channels could do normal videos and they could do shorts as well. And some people would just watch the shorts and it would make you a little bit of money on them. Now it's going to be no actual human, for the most part, will bother making them because you can't compete in an environment like that. And YouTube, like I said, is completely schizo, where it never knows, you know, it will tell you to do one thing and then it won't share that sort of content. So they'll encourage you to do something, then they won't share it. So why would anyone fucking bother? Probably Van K, like I said, there's also a thing that for like tax reasons, like you're saying, that yeah, loads of companies do the thing where they keep investing money so they're always at a loss so they don't have to pay taxes. Which again, I think government should have more, because again, you need a tax system where companies aren't completely incentivized from setting up in your countries, but they do actually have to pay taxes, where they can't just say, sorry, I reinvested all my money again, therefore I don't have to pay any taxes. Why would China copy obsolete masks? I mean, they kind of have already copied the M50 to a degree. There is a Chinese mask that is kind of like a C50, but the F6 is an outdated mask. M17 is an outdated cheek filter mask. China did have the M65, I think it was, or Type 65, that is a cheek filter mask, but it's a single cheek filter mask. It's like one big tumor on one side of the mask. But again, cheek filters, nobody likes them. Some people like them, but you know what I mean? For the most part, only infantry in certain roles seem to like cheek filter masks. Every other branch of the military's hated them. And like I said, cheek filters are annoying in the sense you can't change the filters easily. Even if you're not meant to be changing any sort of filter in combat anyway, you know, or gas situations, it's still shit, like with an M17, that, you know, it's like, oh, it's a real ball ache to, you know, pull the mask open like that to get the filters in. Yeah, like that's the thing. Capitalism is essentially a good system if it works for everybody, you know. But when you get to the like late stage capitalist system, where literally everybody is screwed over by it, it's just a shit system. Where, you know, like I said again, where you just get people incentivized not to work or to work illegally, you know, like drug dealing or whatever else, not declaring income because they lose so much of their income on tax, and then that tax doesn't go to anything that actually helps them. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not somebody that has a solution to any of this, because you will get the people like, oh, you complain a lot, why don't you have a solution? Well, I can tell you what doesn't work, I don't know how you'd fix it. But yeah. Is there anything cheerful we can talk about other than wildfires and people becoming poorer and poorer? Do you want me to? I'll load up my uncensored AI if people want, and we can ask that questions, because that's always interesting. So Quen 3.6 uncensored. I'll load that up. So this is a local AI running on my machine, not through any data centers. Yeah, again, that's what FDR did with the like New Deal or whatever it was called, because they basically realized that if they kept pushing people with like complete, you know, horrible capitalism, that you just get people mutinying and like lynching people. You know, you might end up with a Russian Revolution type situation. So you have to have a capitalist system that actually works for people, that incentivizes. Yeah, maybe. Although yeah, maybe Harley. Although maybe as time goes by, maybe we'll envy the dead. I don't know. Let's not make this too bleak. So, does anyone have any interesting questions for the uncensored AI? Because, like I said, I've got Quen.36, 3.6. It's actually called 3.6, isn't it? Yeah, literally 3.6. Not great, not terrible. I've got that running locally on my system, so don't ask it anything illegal during a stream for obvious reasons, but if people want me to ask it something funny or spicy, it's not going to refuse to answer me. I might ask it about enshittification, actually. So let's say, give me examples. I can barely type how hot it is and think clearly. I've got like brain fog. Give me examples of enshittification with online platforms. Not going to ask it illegal stuff, as said, public morale channel. Not going to do anything that's going to violate the YouTube guidelines or be illegal. So yeah, that's working now. You can see it doing the sort of the don't want to flip back. You can see it thinking through. All right, let's read out if it said anything interesting. I'll zoom in as well because I've not got any boxes on under my shorts, so I don't want to accidentally show you my balls if I'm stretching my leg in the wrong direction. So N-shittification, sometimes known as N-shittificate, it's just different spelling, is a term coined by writer Cory Doctorow to describe a predictable cycle in which digital platforms degrade in quality to extract maximum short-term profit from platform owners. It typically follows 3 stages: good to users, free, cheap, high quality, low feeds; stage 2, good to business customers, to advertisers, sellers or creators get favorable terms; good to the platform, stage 3. Prices are hiked on both sides, users and businesses are squeezed until they leave. The cycle repeats because network effects and switching costs keep stakeholders locked in. Here are well-documented examples across major platforms. Reddit, stage 1, users, free ad-supported community forums, highly customizable via third-party apps. Stage 2, developers, power users, open API allowed users like Apollo and Relay to thrive. Reddit improved features to retain creators and users. Stage 3, platform owners, drop support for free third-party apps requiring paid developers licenses, $50,000 to $60,000 a month. Killed app ecosystem, Apollo Relay shut down in 2024. Increased ad loads, push self-serve ads, and raised Reddit premium subscription price. Results: users' complaints spiked, engagement dropped, but users stayed due to subreddit lock-in and lack of alternatives. They've got YouTube on here. YouTube, stay 1, users, creators, free streaming, open uploads, straightforward, ad revenue share. Stage 2, creators, advertisers, improve monetization threshold, push into memberships and super chat, better creator analytics. Stage 3, platform owners, aggressive ad load increases, mid-roll ads on videos under 8 minutes, now trigger every 8 minutes. Non-skippable and bumper ads multiplied. Algorithms shifted heavily towards short to compete with TikTok, reducing discoverability for long-form creators. Demonetization policies tightened, transparency dropped. Pushed YouTube premium music subscription while squeezing creator payouts per view. Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, and now, Harley, like we were saying, YouTube is breaking shorts as of February next year, because you have to constantly get 10 million verified views, not even normal views, over 90 rolling days, which basically means that what's going to happen is that it's only incentivizing people to make very quick spam short content that serves no value. People that make informative shorts or whatever won't be making them because they're not going to be getting that many views, therefore they won't make anything from them. So shorts will just get worse and worse and worse, and YouTube somehow thinks that's a good way of fixing the problem with AI spam on it. I don't know, public morale channel, because of servers or whatever, I don't know. And because they could totally justify controls by saying they keep holding stakeholders like you and I hostage. But yeah, it's just one of those things that's, again, all these platforms seem to just keep getting worse and worse. Like I said, where they do something that's bad, people tell them it's bad, they go through with it anyway, the platform gets worse, and they just keep going down that route. Yeah, and I imagine the phone is unbelievable compared to a browser, and the browser is still bad. Like I said, I don't like the fact I have to pay for it, but I pay for YouTube Premium just simply for the fact that I can have videos with my phone screen off to save battery or whatever. And, you know, I don't get ads. So if I'm listening to podcasts, I can just focus on the podcast and not get spammed. Apparently, loads of the adverts on YouTube now are like scams. So, you know, you're not allowed to do that sort of content as an uploader of a video, make obvious scams or whatever on YouTube. But apparently just, yeah, according to people who see ads, there's just more and more like scam ads on YouTube because, oh, they're paying us money, so it's fine. Yeah, like I said, N-shittification. I'll say explain about YouTube's N-shittification in more depth. Yeah, I've seen it on other platforms where it's like adverts for those fake mobile games, as in the games exist, but they don't look like the adverts, and then they have all like the whale type, payment options with subscriptions and like pay to win in them. Right, it's just thinking up the answer for me, and I'll just read out the key takeaways bit. YouTube's gentrification isn't a quality collapse, it's profit-driven optimization. The platform still delivers unmatched scale, discovery, and production value, but the economic center of gravity has shifted. Viewers pay with attention and ads, creators pay with algorithmic dependence, and YouTube captures the margin. Yeah, but yeah, I can't be asked to answer it. Loads of questions like that at the moment. Oi, they, Devon! But yeah, does anyone have any not illegal questions they want me to ask the uncensored AI that might be interesting? Bear in mind, this isn't an AI that talks to the internet, so its model is like from early 2026, so you can't ask it about anything that's recently been in the news or whatever. I might have a cold bowl of cereals after this stream just to get some food in me that isn't, warm. Fair enough, Devon. I didn't see that comment. Oh, no, that comment was hidden by YouTube, Blaze Militaria. So whatever you said, YouTube didn't show it. It hid it. Because, yeah, that's the other thing I've complained about a lot with YouTube live streams. Their censorship of... there's lots of kinks I don't understand. As long as they're between adults, I don't really mind kinks. As long as you don't endanger anyone. I don't like when people buy up rare surplus and destroy them, though. It doesn't matter if what you ask is legal. What I'm saying is YouTube hid your comment. Like I said, YouTube censorship now on comments is so bad that people can type completely mundane, normal things. YouTube, what about the PDF? There's one behind my head in the background. YouTube basically just shadow bans comments that are just completely normal. And also if you have anything that mentions other websites in it, because YouTube doesn't let you do that anymore. So, yeah, we've got this situation, yeah, where like YouTube, what do you call it? Simply basically, yeah, when you're live streaming, it does it with normal video comments, but it's not as bad. But yeah, with live streams, loads of people make a normal comment asking a perfectly reasonable question or whatever. YouTube shows it on your screen like you said it. Nobody else in the chat can see it. And it just gets more and more over the top. So it's not like where somebody swears at you and it says this comment is held for review and a moderator has to like approve or deny the comment. It's literally where like nobody can see the comment except the uploader. And again, it's like I said, then people blame like people like me doing videos or streams saying like, oh, you're on purposely ignoring my comments. I'm not saying you're saying that, but it's that sort of thing, yeah, Blades, where like, again, it's one of those things where rather than most people blaming YouTube for this, they'll then blame people like that are making the videos saying like, you're censoring my comments or whatever. I'll take a hay fever tablet because like I said, my nose is getting runny. But yeah, like I said, YouTube is just so broken now in so many respects. Like I was looking at some of my analytics, and yeah, over the years, right, from about 2017 to about 2022, 2023, I consistently got quite a lot of views per day, just across lots of videos, even if I wasn't uploading, But now my views have gone like that because YouTube basically does the thing where your old content very rarely shows up anywhere. And now and again, a new new video you upload might get sent to people briefly and then your views drop again. Yeah, like I said, it's the problem with monopolies, Devon, yeah. That, yeah, this is the problem, that there are obviously sites like Twitch and Kick for streamers. There's TikTok for the shorts equivalent, but there's nobody that has ever made a thing on the scale of YouTube that is like incentivized monetization for creators so they can earn stuff back like YouTube. And that's the sad thing, because YouTube used to be great. Like years ago, if anybody said to me, I've got a hobby and want to do videos on it, should I do YouTube videos? I'd be like, yes, of course. Now I'm like, why would you bother? Because the hurdles are just getting worse and worse. Okay. I mean, aircon doesn't use buckets of ice, does it? But we'll see what the AI says if I ask it that, Laser Militaria. I've just literally copied your thing from how to cool to the end of your comment. And I'll just let it summarize the final bit of the question. I won't read out all the like little bits, you know, it says before it does the quick summary. So bottom line, 15 to 25 buckets, 10 to 15 litres each of ice, properly placed with cross fanning, will hold a mid-sized house at 12C for 8 to 12 hours in summer. Cut that to 8 to 12 buckets if you only need bedroom level larder temperatures, 14 to 16C in a well-insulated room. The difference between barely cooler and larder cold is almost always air movement plus heat gain control, not just raw ice volume. Want a custom calculation? Tell me house size and ceiling height, outside temp and humidity, insulation quality, windows, walls, attic, target temp and duration. I'll give you an exact bucket count plus fan layout diagram. Oh, message held for review. Let's see if I can manually view it. Oh, and yet Devon says, I don't know if it's let me allow the comment and show it, but he said, I really miss old YouTube when it was just autistic chuds making videos in their room. Now it's all high production slop or low production slop. Yeah. It's either very high production, like super high budget stuff, or it's people just spamming out shit content that gets put over normal people's content. And again, what I really liked about old YouTube is if you had any sort of issue with anything, you could search whatever it was, tutorial or how to DIY whatever, and just find a video where somebody who knew about that thing explained how to do something. Now, because of enshittification, you can't even find good tutorials. And it's like, you know, the things where you can ask AI about it and AI will hallucinate and give you a bad answer. And then some of the people just farming views will just be like copy and pasting what AI says, even if it's not true. So, yeah, it's all that sort of shit, isn't it? The world used to be a simpler place. Yeah, and like I said, and what YouTube's planning on doing with the shorts is only going to make things worse. Because I did see some people going like, oh, it will kill off the AI slop because those channels will like find it too much effort to like make all that slop. It's like, no, because if they're like content farms churning out slop, there's almost no human involvement in it. So it literally means that people with a bit of spare time won't have time to make this content because it's never going to meet YouTube's view thresholds. But channels that, you know, like I said, literally do nothing but spam out shit content are just going to win out on volume. Because from what I understand, it isn't that a single short has to have 10 million views on the rolling 90-day things. It's that all your shorts together on your channel do. So basically what's going to happen is that the channels that can spam out 10 plus videos a day, so let's say that they have like 3,000 to 4,000 videos on YouTube a year, that becomes much, much easier to get to that rolling day 90 threshold, you know. So again, it's just making it worse and worse. And you've also got all this problem with all these things that everybody's so heavily invested in AI, but not necessarily sensible AI, that these companies can't just accept that lots of the AI stuff doesn't work properly. Yeah, and that's getting worse and worse. Same with Google, same with loads of search engines. That basically you almost have to ask an AI chatbot now what you just originally want to Google, because Google results are just completely like filled with ads and not even what you're asking. It's just, yeah. Fucking clown world. Fucking clown world. Yeah, so technically, Joseph, that's earning me a little bit, but I don't like the fact that's the case. But again, like I said, this is the way the platform's going. We can all see the train, you know, the Titanic is going to hit the iceberg. Everybody is saying, avert your course, you know, slow down, make changes. And YouTube's going, no, we'll just go even faster into it. Yeah, I'm not wearing comically large shoes on a day like today. This is one of the few days I'm not even wearing socks. Normally I always wear socks, but today it's just so hot. I'm not, because it's, you know why. Like I said, I'm not even wearing boxers under my fucking shorts today. That is very, very rare. I go commando like that. But like I said, that's why filming from this height upwards, not letting anybody risk seeing me like stand up, walk around and do stuff, in case I accidentally do a dick or ball slip and I get banned. No, I'm not going to prove it. I'm not getting banned for your sake. I'm not an EFOT streamer that will like go to get some ad revenue and views. No, I did not. Which one's the OM14? Sounds familiar. OM14. Hang on, I need to open the film. Is that a check one, the OM14? Why isn't it letting me open? There we go. OM14 gas mask. Oh, so that's the Polish one, yeah? The Polish version of the Shum 41 MUA gas mask. Oh, that's basically the same one, isn't it, with the voice diaphragm, or just a different name for it. But yeah. Yeah, again, it's so bloody hot, though. Like I said, 32 Celsius, 40% humidity where I am, and it feels worse than that. And like I said, bad night's sleep because of the heat and all that stuff. Yeah, wearing a gas mask and nothing else. Total Kinkster level. Oh, another message held for review. Hang on. Yeah, I think in theory, some people do use sites like OF, don't they? But like not for porn, but just for actual normal content. But like I said, it's one of those sites now that from what I understand, everybody that thinks of it would think you just do porn on it. But like I said, I've got a Patreon. That's the equivalent of an OnlyFans. So like I said, what I'm just doing now is for YouTube members and people on Patreon. I'm just doing as a little thank you thing, even if you're just donating $1. If you want to ask questions for like a more detailed Q&A video every now and then, you can just ask on there, and I'll do a monthly Q&A with your questions. Most people just use it to PM me, though, if they have questions that they just want to ask that are uncensored, you know, don't necessarily want to ask them publicly, or just think to ask it when I'm not on streaming so I can just get back to them faster. Nah, I wouldn't do that. Because again, I got a public profile, and I bet knowing modern content, you'd get banned from other platforms because of like weird Puritanism stuff. Like, so even if that content was completely separate from YouTube, I bet like YouTube be like, oh, we can't work with a creator like that. And also you'd have all your stuff leaked and sent to employers and family members and shit like that. So yeah, not doing it. Like I said, I've already been doxxed. I've already had an attempted swatting on me, but luckily only one cop turned up and was polite. So, you know, yeah, I'm not fucking doing that shit. Oh, no, I want to go back to the white screen. Okay. Yeah, anybody got anything interesting they want to bring up before I go off and get some food and just lay in front of the fan? Because like I said, I don't mind chatting about whatever as long as it's YouTube safe and whatever and legally safe. But you know, like I said, it's just hot and tiring, so I don't want to be getting gas masks on and all that stuff. Just because they think they're morally in the right or something, or they think it's funny. Like with me, it's because apparently I'm a bad person somehow. So it's, you know, if that person's life got destroyed or they got killed in a swatting thing and all that, it makes them feel good about themselves. Like I said, I don't understand it. Like, if there's people I don't like, I just don't watch their videos. I find that quite a simple concept. Like, you know, with anything like that. If I don't like somebody, I just don't follow them on Twitter. I don't watch their videos. I just kind of try and tune them out. Sometimes with people that are like in mainstream media, that's quite hard to do because they show up on so many platforms. But with you know, like with me, I just don't watch people if I don't like them. Yeah, Devon, with me, it was because basically, even though this person had, how they got my address is they sold me a gas mask, and then obviously they recognized my name and address when they sold the gas mask. So they had actually damaged the gas mask prior to sending it me on purpose, apparently, because they were boasting about that in the chat. And then, yeah, because they permanently then had my address once I bought the gas mask from them, they then tried to use it as like a blackmail thing of like, you have to agree with our politics and like, you know, whatever. And I'm not going to get intimidated by people doing that, you know, of you have to basically always agree with what we say or else, and we don't like the fact that you chat with certain other YouTubers we don't like and whatever. Like I said, every person I've ever met through YouTube that I think's a decent person and met me, I think we always just sort of get on, like with Mike, Weapon Collector and that, you know, because like I said, you know, I have opinions that some people might not like about certain things, but I don't try and be a dick about them. So like I said, it's just one of those things. But like I said, there are sites online where people on purposely like lolcow mentally disabled people. So like I said, there are people that are just scum. Like I said, because it's like with all that lolcow stuff. Why I sometimes now and again find some like the Chris Chan stuff funny and all that. Like, just leave people like that alone. You know, it's like, if they've got their own mental health problems, they've got enough problems in their life. They don't need other people making it fucking worse by like constantly being doxxed and people turning up outside their house and whatever. But yeah, I think it's that whole thing, isn't it, about touch grass? There's definitely some people that are so terminally online and fucking weird that they, you know, should just live like a real person for a bit and try and be nice to people, you know. And because again, like, I think most people are genuinely happier in their own mental health if they're not constantly thinking everyone's out to get them and it's a conspiracy, you know, and actually just try and be nice to people. Yeah, there's a difference between somebody making kind of jokey, stupid comments online, isn't there? But when it gets to like trying to get people fired from their job and all that stuff, like where other creators have had like child protection called on them because again, people didn't like the creator, so they've tried to have their kids taken away from them and get them into legal stuff, fired from their jobs, you know, like break up people's marriages and stuff like that. Nah, I think people that do that should be criminally charged. Like I said, because there's a, like, as much as I like free speech, there is a point where it becomes like a malicious kind of thing, and I don't think it's free speech anymore. Because it, you know, if people say online that they think I'm a cunt or whatever, well, that's fine, that's their opinion, you know. But when it gets to the stage where, you know, there's people online and other people are trying to literally ruin their life, I think those people should be prosecuted personally. Because again, they're fucking useless waste of space. Can't show your comment, radio him. Again, I don't think you should kill people like that. I think they should just get a bit of correctional time, breaking rocks or something. Yeah, because it becomes harassment, exactly. And it wastes police time as well. This is the thing a lot of people don't get, that if you only have so many cops and they can only respond to a certain amount of incidents, I would rather the police force, again, like this is the whole problem with a lot of the online bullshit in the UK with people getting police visits for saying like racist and whatever stuff. Doesn't mean I like what they're saying. But again, it's like the police force should be dealing with like rapists, murderers, burglaries, stuff like that as high priority cases, not fucking somebody said a mean fucking thing online. Like, especially if it's just at the extent where you can block somebody and then like you never see their comments again. But like you say, personally, even with people I don't agree with stuff with, I just don't see the reason why you'd harass them online. Just ignore them. You know, don't look at what they're saying. Don't follow them. Because I've had that with my YouTube before, where like not the people that dox me, but you know, where you just get people that hate your content, so feel the need to subscribe, to dislike, and then leave a shitty comment on every video. It's like, what are you getting out of this? Does it give you like some sort of hate erection that makes you feel good? Like I just don't get it. Like I would rather spend my time looking at stuff that I find enjoyable, you know, that makes me happy or whatever, rather than trying to make myself miserable on purpose by, you know, let me look at loads of depressing videos or whatever, or watch people I think, you know, like I hate James O'Brien on LBC. I wouldn't on purposely listen to James O'Brien to have some sort of hate aneurysm. You know, I just rather listen to a history podcast or do something I enjoy. But anyway, I'll be off in a few minutes because I've been on this stream over an hour now, and I did stream nearly an hour of that other stream where not many people were on because YouTube didn't notify them. I might stay on a couple more minutes, but like I said, I'm going to get a bowl of cereals and some cold milk in a minute just so I get some food in me, a bit of sugar and stuff like that. Because again, the problem is when it's hot, I just don't have an appetite most of the day, and then that's not good because you're not eating. Might have cereals, might have something else, but... yeah, anything anybody want to chat about quickly before I go off? Like I said, I'm easy. Well, yeah, because it's fucking, like I said, 32 Celsius, and I've already been streaming for an hour prior to the stream. Like I said, I'm not going to sit in front of a hot computer all day, especially when there's not that many people on, as much as I like chatting with anyone that's on. I don't get what you're getting at Public Morale Channel. Like I said, I've said multiple times I'll only be streaming an hour, roughly, because of how hot it is. I was already streaming for an hour prior to this stream, but YouTube didn't really share it with anyone because it was a widescreen proper stream like they used to share. So YouTube doesn't share those properly now. They only really share vertical phone streams. So, you know, there's a chance if it cools down a bit in the evening, I might do a stream in the evening if I feel up to it and don't feel, you know, like lightheaded and that from the heat. But like I said, more people watch in the evening anyway. It's just, like I said, at the moment, it's just miserable in this room. Why is that YouTube doesn't share them properly? Again, because YouTube just keeps screwing up their algorithms. Because like I said, when YouTube used to just be literally like proper long form videos that were widescreen videos, and people like streaming with webcams just directly on the PC for streams, it was absolutely fine because YouTube wasn't doing all this short stuff and everything else. The problem you're running into now with YouTube is that they literally don't know what they want to promote. So, and again, it used to be with YouTube that if you subscribe to a channel, you were told every time they uploaded something. Then YouTube made it, oh, you have to subscribe and then tick the bell because normal subscription isn't good enough. And now you can subscribe and tick the bell and still not be told. And people randomly get unsubscribed from channels because people have said that happened on mine. I get analytics 1 month where I've just suddenly got a minus load of subscribers, and it's not been on a video where I might have said something that upset people. It's just been like over the course of several days, minus 10, minus 10, minus 10, whatever. And then people say, oh, I thought I was subscribed to you, but I was unsubbed. And I've had that happen to channels I watch as well. Yeah, like I said, it's just the system is broken. And YouTube keeps doing the thing where they insist, no, it works fine, even though everybody literally is like, no. So many creators over so many years have been saying this is a problem, but YouTube's like, nah, it's fine. It's that don't believe your lying eyes, don't believe your lying ears thing. Yeah, well, we were on about that earlier of the shorts thing. Did you hear what I was saying about what YouTube is going to be doing with shorts as of next year? Hex, which is just going to make shorts even worse, where it is going to be nothing but AI slop, except maybe a couple of decent channels that only really do shorts. Did you hear what YouTube's going to be doing with the shorts? Because, oh, it's not good, even though YouTube thinks it's good. It is literally annoyed much, much bigger YouTubers with like 1 million subscribers, you know, than me. Ones that are literally like, this is just going to ruin me on shorts now. Have you heard what they've done? I did do a short on it video earlier to basically say this might be the last short I make on YouTube unless they change their minds about this. But have you heard what YouTube's doing? Right, I'll tell you now if you're on the stream. So what YouTube is doing is, as of February next year, you have to have a rolling 10 million verified views over every 3 months, so over 90 days. So if you say get 9.9 million views, you get completely demonetized from shorts until you get back over 10 million over 3 months again, or under 3 months, essentially how it works, because it's rolling 90 days. And what that means is it's not going to combat the slop or anything. It's just going to combat people that occasionally do shorts, like most channels I know, or watch, because basically most of us do a mix of shorts and long videos. And then what happens is that because these channels are completely demonetized from shorts, they're not going to bother making shorts if they're not paid, even if they get, you know, put good info into them. And the only channels that will be making shorts are the ones that can pump out like 10 plus crap AI slop or like stolen clip videos a day, because they're the ones that, like content farm ones, that are going to still be over that threshold and earning. Everybody else is going to be demonetized from it. YouTube will still undoubtedly put ads on them, so YouTube will just take 100% of the revenue. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose for some reason now, probably because of the hay fever. And yeah, it is just going to be shit. And like, I can't see a single person other than the people that haven't thought about it for a minute that are like, no, this will stop all the AI spam. No, it won't, because it just incentivizes the AI channels to spam out even more. It literally means the only way that you can get monetized shorts is to just spam out shit content, because, you know, you can't reliably make, you know, you can't reliably just do one short every now and then and expect it to get loads and loads and loads of views. Most of my shorts barely get any views. It's just a couple of my shorts that carry on doing well. And when I do the widescreen videos that YouTube says, oh, just stick to doing those, YouTube doesn't share those properly. So they are just making it just worse and worse. Like I said, but the problem is there's no alternative to YouTube for most videos and that. So, yeah, it's just going to make it worse. This is the thing. YouTube is saying publicly, oh, we want to cut down on the AI slop. Yet YouTube is encouraging you to use their own AI thumbnails to promote your videos more than using normal thumbnails, which is why I'm using them now. Not because I want to, but otherwise YouTube shares your videos even less. Like, I, you know, do the thing where I think, well, even if the thumbnail looks a bit AI clickbaity, at least I'm doing a real video and people click on it. So they're pushing their AI that way, and their AI suggests videos for you, even though their AI just suggests like nonsensical videos, or like the ones to me where it was saying, oh, just gas yourself while wearing a gas mask with like chlorine gas and see if it works. So like YouTube is suggesting stuff that is against YouTube's own terms of service and like potentially illegal, and, you know, could get people killed. So their AI is doing crap like that, and yet they're like, oh, double down on our own AI and all this. Again, it's because people for ages complained when I didn't like crop the perfect bit from my video, add loads of text and effects manually. YouTube now lets you do a thing where it kind of does that for you. So when it lets you do that, I use that. And again, Forgotten Weapons talked about this, because you can do A/B testing with it, you know, like where some of your subscribers get sent one picture, some get sent the other. And basically the AI thumbnails always win out, even though if channels don't like doing them because of how YouTube's promoting them. So you're in this situation basically where you don't use this thing, you get fucked, even if you don't morally like doing it, kind of thing. So like I said, this is like with shorts. YouTube now seems to be telling all the creators, oh, just spend more and more time just making more and more low effort shorts. And this is why lots of creators like me are saying, oh, fine, then we won't make any more shorts. Because, you know, if you're going to completely demonetize us from making shorts that might give people information and all that. Yeah, right, Khaled? You okay? Bloody hot, isn't it? Like I said, I was going to go off. I might stay on a few more minutes if people are coming on, but I did a proper widescreen video stream earlier. YouTube didn't send it to people. And like I said, I'm just fucking, it's 32 in here. I feel hotter than that. You know, I feel lightheaded. Like, I think I really need to just get some sugar in a minute and some food. So I will be off fairly soon, but I'll just stay on a few more minutes to chat with people. If it cools down enough in the evening, I might do a stream later, but I don't think it will do. So yeah, like what I'm probably going to try and do now is, even if it's less videos a week, I am probably just going to do the widescreen regular videos and then just try and keep reminding people that I'm doing them. Because like I said, YouTube isn't sharing those properly with my viewers. Let's just have a look on my channel. I'm going to open one tab for shorts and one tab for videos. So with my regular videos, 251 views, 146 views, 181 views, 521 views, 276 views, 878 views, 478 views, 452 views, 286 views, blah, blah, blah. Shorts, 270, 218, 533, 891, 1,500, 846, 1,200, 971, 1,300. So yeah, shorts get more views even if they don't get a great amount of views. But like I said, I'm definitely not making enough views on shorts to meet their threshold when they change it. Yeah, and I did a stream earlier that only one person came on because I was doing a wide screen stream. And these mobile streams, they share more. But like I said, YouTube is just ruining their platform. Hang on, let me go back to the proper chat so I can see your messages properly. Hang on. Like I said, I'll keep recommending this to people, but if you follow me, bookmark my channel. I don't know if there's any way of doing like an RSS feed or whatever they used to be called, so you get a notification every time I do an upload. But what you can do is just manually bookmark my channel. That way, if you want to see if I'm doing anything, you can just open up the bookmark for my channel. I do that with other channels like weapon collectors I watch, because I know I won't reliably get sent their videos even though I'm subscribed, ticked about, and I'm a paid member of their channel. Or is he just drinking loads of Coke? Ah, very cool, Khaled. Tell him I said hello. That's very cool. I don't know if it lets you send pictures on Patreon, but if you don't mind taking any pictures and want to send me on Patreon, that would be cool of his flintlocks. I'd appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, if you really want to support me, the best way now is probably follow me on Patreon. You can follow for free, but you can then pay like $1 or as much as you want a month as well, and then ask me exclusive questions or whatever. But that way, you know, you are supporting the channel and following me that way. I do need to get back more into the habit of putting, when I just upload a video, posting it to X and posting it to Patreon, just so people are told there that I've done it. Next time I want to do a short type video, I'll stick it on TikTok and see how it does. Because I had a TikTok, I only uploaded one video and I was surprised how many comments I got on it. People going, oh, hey, it's the YouTube gas mask guy. So I might try and put more stuff on TikTok. Because like I said, if YouTube's going to do this shit with YouTube Shorts, I'm just going to stop doing YouTube Shorts. Because why would you make content if YouTube's first not going to share it properly, and then is just going to take 100% of the revenue because you're not getting quite enough views? So basically, YouTube is just doing this hard cliff of, if you get 10 million views over rolling 90 days, you get your pittance from Shorts. If you don't get that many views, YouTube just takes all the money. What a shit system. It's gone from like a pocket money system that, you know, people are like, well, I might as well do it now and again because every little bit adds up. And in the modern economy, you really have to rely on every little bit adding up. You've gone from that to, well, nobody's incentivized to do it at all. What a stupid system. But yeah, anyway, Anyone want to bring up anything else, or I'll be off? But yeah, horrible news, that wildfire in the UK yesterday that burned people out their houses. And by the sound of it now, it was because some stupid students had an A-level celebratory barbecue or something, and took a disposable barbecue into a dry fucking field and started essentially a wildfire. Oh, Kevin's just come on. Right, I'll stay on another 5 minutes or so, but yeah, so like I said, YouTube being YouTube, we were just complaining Kevin over and over about what YouTube's doing with short. So yeah, if I film anything that's like a short, I'll stick it on TikTok. But like I said, YouTube is annoying me more and more. I do need to diversify onto more sites. But like I said, the problem is that most of these sites never go anywhere. That's the problem. Because I used to have a Vimeo and all the things like that, and then they either became like pay to access or nobody used them. Yeah, Kevin, I did a game stream for an hour. One person came on, like, that was reliably chatting. That was Militaria. Everybody else, like, you know, if other people came on, they said, like, maybe hi and then didn't do any more messages. So after an hour of streaming that, I just gave up because, you know, I was just chatting to blank space, basically. And then I came on this, and obviously more people have seen this than the other one, but it's still not good. And like I said, yeah. So, yeah. I'm saying, bitching about YouTube, even though they're kind of like my employer, I have a lot of reason to bitch about YouTube because, like I said, what they are doing is kind of purging us. Even though I don't think they're trying to do this, this is the thing. I think they're just being really stupid and short-sighted. But it seems nearly every decision they keep making keeps hurting channels that make genuine content, which is the why actual humans watch YouTube, to kind of be replaced with short-term AI spam shit or just low-quality clickbait shit. And then the more and more that happens, the more they will lose viewers to other platforms. Like I said, other channels, like other things, like Elon Musk really needs to make like a proper video site to compete with YouTube. I know you can put videos on X, but like an actual proper video site maybe, and stuff like that, you know, that people can monetize and get content from and all that. And then, like I said, if there was competition to YouTube, if it wasn't a monopoly, I think YouTube would make smarter decisions because they'd have to. But you have that problem that because they're kind of like the only proper video service in town for proper videos, they're just getting more and more like, oh, we can make a stupid decision. What does it matter? You know, people can use us or they can go swing kind of thing. So, yeah. What a load of bollocks. Oh, I'll ask this now, because again, if I'm going to be filming widescreen videos, is there any particular widescreen videos people want me to do? Because again, I get asked a lot to do gas mask tests, but again, barely any of my subscribers watch those when I've done them recently, probably because you weren't told. But like I said, the problem is, if YouTube doesn't tell you and I spend a load of time making a video like that, what was the point in making the video? You know, because like I said, this is the problem now. It's, you think, why bother making a video, even if you know that your subscribers want to see it, because you know that they never see it. And you feel like the guy, is it Siphius or whatever? Yeah, is it Siphius, the guy pushing the boulder in Greek mythology up the hill? It's what YouTube feels like now, that you're pushing a ever heavier boulder up a steeper incline, and the moment you stop, it will roll and crush you, but you can never stop going because of yeah. Maybe I'll just do more and more videos just bitching about politics, shall I? Because YouTube likes those. Even though I don't really want to do that one. Yeah, it's a shame, Kevin, because like I said, the Forshidas are really nice. Oh, somebody said, oh, I don't think the Forshida's in this room, otherwise I'd check it right now. No, I think I put the Forshida in the other room with the M40 when I last did a video on it. But I think somebody said in the comments to that video, the date bits on the Forshida are actually not on the bit I was looking at where it says 94. Apparently that's a mold number. So I'm going to check that with mine. So it might be that mine is more modern than 1994. But I couldn't see any other date stamps anywhere on it. But like I said, they are nice. If you like the S10 FM12 style masks, you'd like it a lot. Like I said, it is just very much like an FM12. Like I said, I just wish you could get the military versions, even if you couldn't get the drinking tube version. I wish you could get the one where you had the voice diaphragm blanking plug, like with the FM12s and that you could, you know, swap the filters around or use it dual filter. Yeah, my one, I can't remember the date on my CT12 and FM12. Like I said, my S10, my latest S10 was 2009. That was right near the end of their production run, because apparently production completely ceased around 2011. I'm just going to have like a natural caffeine type thing, not a caffeine pill. I'll take a caffeine pill in it as well, but that stuff somebody recommended me. I'm not a doctor. I don't know if this stuff is good. It's meant to be like some natural herbal stimulant. I don't know if it works particularly well, but why not try it? I'm always up for trying like some sort of like herbal remedies. If they don't work, I'll never buy any more. But I don't think many of them are dangerous. Kratom is completely illegal in the UK. I just literally told you what it was. Shilajit or whatever it's called. Shilajit. We've added ashwagandha or something, lion's mane, organic turmeric powder, and black pepper powder. It's meant to be one of those things that has like mixed results in tests if it actually does make people more alert to that. But some people in my chat have sworn by it. I think Kratom was one of those things that was meant to be very, very not bad. But again, I don't know because Kevin was saying it is bad. But apparently it was one of those things where lots of countries didn't ban, and the UK's like, oh, we immediately heard there's like an opioid equivalent that's less addictive or whatever, so immediately ban it. Well, it works like an opioid, doesn't it? I'll ask my uncensored AI. Have I still got that up, or did I close it? I'll put, is Kratom similar to opioids? Again, uncensored AI, that's the perfect thing to ask it stuff like this, because it's not going to go, oh, that's dangerous information, I can't tell you it. So we'll see what the AI says before I go on. Yeah, you can, Khaled, or you can fire rocks. Anything that fits down the barrel with a musket, you can fire. You know, like little tiny rocks, broken bits of glass, whatever. Coins, there's old coin shot stuff I've seen videos on. Okay, so I'll read the first bit and then I'll skip to the bottom bit. So yes, Kratom is pharmacologically similar to opioids, but it is not a classic opioid and has several important differences in how it works, its effects and its safety profile. Here's a clear breakdown. I'm going to skip all the sciencey shit because I won't understand it anyway. Bottom line, Kratom acts on opioid receptors, which was a bit I was interested in, because yeah, and can produce analgesic, euphoric, and sedating effects similar to traditional opioids. So yeah, to your brain, it works like an opioid, especially at higher doses. However, its partial agonism, dose-dependent stimulation, ceiling effects on respiration, and milder withdrawal make it pharmacologically distinct and generally safer in typical use ranges. If you're considering Kratom for pain, sleep, or opioid tampering, outright, I'm not going to read this out because it's advising me on dosing now, which YouTube might really hate. But yeah, it's basically saying on here that yeah, Kratom is less dangerous. Okay, we won't talk about chemical stuff to do with drugs, Harley, on here, just because it's where YouTube or the government might get shitty about it. All right. So personalized is the one you don't want if you want to actually watch my content. Personalized is where YouTube picks stuff for you based on what it thinks you might like, and of course, it doesn't work properly. All is where if I do a post, if I do a stream, if I do a video, it should in theory tell you, even though it won't all the time. But personalized is where YouTube will just pick and choose from stuff a channel uploads or it shares with you. So when I tick the bell on the channel, I just tick all, because otherwise it will be like, oh, we don't think you want to watch that. We don't think you're interested in what that channel had to say. Now, that's all right, Harley. It's just, yeah, you have to be a bit careful on here. But yeah, so interestingly, what my uncensored chatbot is telling me is that Kratom is like the less dangerous thing, very similar to opioids, but Big Pharma doesn't like that. And like I said, I did hear things from people that used to be like addicts online, you know, again, take this with a pinch of salt stories, that they got off of worse opioids, like say oxycodone and stuff like that they'd been addicted to years for using Kratom, and then were able to dose it down. But again, I don't know, because it's always been illegal in the UK, so I've never been able to try it. I mean, I know it probably illegally turns up, but, you know, I can't afford illegal drugs. Like I've said before, I have this on prescription, so I know what opioids are like. I think opioids are great, but, you know, I can understand why people get horribly addicted to them, because they're just nice. They calm you down, they get rid of pain, you know, but they don't impair you in the same way on lower doses that, like, alcohol would in your system and whatever else. Unless you've taken them out that kills you, you basically don't get a hangover from them. Ah, cool. You might want to try it, Kevin. Well, again, I can't recommend that, but like I said, so it's one of those things in the States, is it, that didn't become illegal, or is it just in certain states it's illegal or whatever? Oh, so in the States it's currently legal, is it? But they're trying to get rid of it. And I bet you that's because of, like, the Sacklers or whatever with oxycodone and everything else. So it's cheaper than medical opioids, and it's apparently less damaging. But the FDA would rather you have the ones that your doctor gets you addicted to. Again, Brown Street, I can understand why you wouldn't want to take them. Like I said, if one of those things, if you have an addictive personality, they could potentially be really dangerous. You know, it's like lots of those things. But if I was to say I could ban one and keep the other between opioids and alcohol, I'd ban alcohol, because opioids have more upsides to alcohol. But, you know, that's the world we live in. Okay, Harley, is that the same bit like weed, isn't it? Like with medical marijuana and everything else? Where in some states that's legal, some states that's illegal. I don't know, it might be Hexa, but again, with like stuff in the UK, it's weird. So it used to be, and I don't know if they banned this or just every pharmacy stopped. Oh yeah, so it makes you feel nice, Kevin. Again, if I could get that here, I'd probably try it, but not that I'm encouraging other people to, I'm just saying. Anyway, so yeah, what was I saying? So you used to be able to, and again, I don't know if this is the government banned it or like lots of pharmacies voluntarily stopped selling it, because I've never seen it for years now. But you used to be able to buy codeine cough medicine, you know, like Purple Drank, as they'd call it in the US or whatever, from online pharmacies, and you just say, oh, I've got a bit of a cough, and you could buy it. Like, I think a lot of them restricted you to 1 bottle per month or whatever. So even though codeine is normally like only on, say, for example, you know, like me, where you have to be prescribed it, or it's a Class B substance if you're not prescribed it by a doctor, it used to be one of those things that you could just literally, if you did want to get it in pharmaceutical grade, you would just buy it in the cough medicine form. And you can still get Paramol, which is dihydrocodeine, I think it is, which is like double strength codeine, and you can buy cocodamol. But the idea of that is you overdose from the paracetamol if you take it. You die from paracetamol poisoning if you take too much of it. So you can buy that over the counter. All right, Harley. Yeah, because like I said, that used, because again, like I said, that was one of those things. And again, apparently there were African countries that really got fucked up by like, you know, where it was super easy to buy codeine, where it was like, you know, you could just buy it in like regular supermarkets, or people would sell it off the back of the truck, you know, where you could buy like 10 bottles of it, and then people would mix it with alcohol and whatever else. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, other than things like I said, where now I think in the UK it's just a case of you know, like other than Paramol and like cocodamol and stuff like that, it's basically you have to have any of the opioids on a prescription. And again, there's ways that, again, I'm not going to go into this in here. There's ways that you can get opioids from other things that aren't going through a drug dealer, but I'm not going to share that on YouTube, or because, you know, I don't want to encourage it. But there are ways people get around a lot of these systems, but yeah, like I said, it was Paramol, cocodamol, which is paracetamol plus codeine or dihydrocodeine. And again, there's ways online, and the AI chatbot will tell you about this, but I'm not going to post it in here, where you can extract the paracetamol from it, so you don't take the risk of paracetamol overdose. Because again, I find the thing fucked up that are like, oh, we'll sell this as a product that people can buy because that way the junkies will just die if they take too much of it. Again, you should have a harm reduction system with fucking medical stuff, not, well, we'll let you have an addictive stuff as long as you've got something that's poisonous with it, so if you take too much of it, you die. That's pretty cool, Kevin. I mean, I'd rather just vape that stuff if I still did anything like that, because that way you're doing less harm. I wonder if you can get stuff the equivalent of Velos, but with like THC and CBD in. I'm going to look this up now. Okay, they exist. Nicotine, CBD, and so yeah, nicotine, CBD, and caffeine pouches. I do want to try some of those. The caffeine pouches as well. See how they compare to like having a coffee or having They're $11.99, isn't too bad. What is the dose, just for comparing if I'm getting any more nicotine stuff in the thing that these are in? Because these 14 mg, that's the sort of dose I quite like because it's strong enough. I wouldn't really want a 35 mg pouch that some places, because I was like putting 2 of those in your fucking mouth. I want to fuck that. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of your comment public morale, but you're totally right on that. Just don't, like I said, don't post stuff like that. But yes, you could either grow them from those or you can make tea from them, but we're not going to talk about stuff like that just because of YouTube policy and government policies. The weird thing for me, because I've got colitis, brown streak, is I can't take, I mean, I can take it and it's just bad for me, ibuprofen or aspirin, because if I take those, as much as they're good for headaches and other things like that, with my colitis, they cause just more internal bleeding with my colon. So that's why, like I said, that's why doctors give me opioids with just normal paracetamol, because opioids aren't harmful if you have to be careful and not do an Elvis and block yourself up and die a toxic megacolon. But opioids are like actually safe if you've got colitis because they don't like harm your GI tract. Probably it might have glitched. If it glitched out for more than just you, it's because YouTube was censoring what I said. Because sometimes if streams start going funny, it means it's because you said something on the stream YouTube didn't like. Tramadol, yeah, but Tramadol is only from a doctor's prescription. I think it's Class C. That was one of the ones that they could have put me on other than codeine. But I think because Tramadol acts a bit like an SSRI, you have to be careful in a different way about giving it to people because, you have other serotonin risks to it or it conflicting with other medicine, where codeine is kind of like 10% morphine in the sense that codeine, your liver breaks it down into morphine. So I think like 15 mg of codeine, the liver breaks down to about 1.5 mg of morphine. Yeah, at one point, Harley, I won't say who this was, and I don't think they work for the company anymore, but there was somebody I used to work with that got shitloads of it just on like repeat prescription for their doctor. And if somebody had a headache at work, they just hand you out Tramadol. It was great, but yeah, obviously they shouldn't have been doing that and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that was kind of thing, like because they had it for like chronic, like an injured spine or whatever, the doctors just gave them shitloads of it. And they were probably like so accustomed to it, they needed a really high dose to, actually get any pain-killing effect from it. Because that's, again, the problem with a lot of painkillers, is your body just becomes tolerant of it. So yeah, if somebody had a bad headache at work, they'd just be like, oh, here's a Tramadol. Ah, what, you doing a video on Brown Streak? Am I subscribed to you, Brown Streak? Let me see if I can go to your channel. So, I mean, obviously I chat with you on here, but I'm not subscribed to you, right? I'm subscribing to you now, Brown Streak. There you go. And I'm clicking all on the bell, even though most of your videos are just a lot on games and like dash cam and that. But yeah, I'll subscribe to you. Hopefully I might now and again catch a video of you. Let me get the chat back up. I'm feeling a bit more energetic now, probably because we're having a good chat. John, no, none of your other than a nice cold pina colada, nothing has turned up that you said. So if you said anything else, YouTube has censored all of it. But yeah, like I said, after this stream, I'm going to probably just have some cereals with some milk, so I just get some sugar and fat in me. Because like I said, I think that's not helping as well, the heat, is that, you know, you don't have much of an appetite and then you just feel a bit woozy. Or I'm kind of tempted to have some spicy food. I don't know why, because I don't think spicy food would be good with hot weather. But because I don't really want to be sweating more than I have to. But saying that, because the humidity isn't absurdly high today, sweating wouldn't be too bad. I'm kind of tempted to just do some curry and rice and coconut milk or something. Do you reckon I should do that? What do you guys reckon? Cereals or a bit of curry and a bit of coconut rice? No, I was thinking like a tinned tikka masala with some stronger spices added to it and some coconut rice. And yeah, and then there's quite a lot of liquid in the curry. Yeah, I'm going to do a curry then. I'll do it in a bigger bowl, and then I'll do it with, like I said, I'll open up a can of coconut milk and mix in some coconut milk. Stir in some coconut milk, yeah. Yeah, in the UK, like I said, I can't give people, like, if I handed other people my codeine, I'd be handing them a Class B substance. Which is also the kind of funny thing that if you go to a pharmacy, because I had to give some, yeah, it might help with my hay fever. Yeah, I'll add some spice in, yeah, Kevin. But yeah, so like when we had to hand in my granddad's medicine after he died, like, you know, all his opioids, they had to sign for those, the pharmacy, to dispose of them. Whereas when I just brought some medicines that my mum had that were out of date to the pharmacy the other day, they were just able to chuck them in like their like normal medical trash. All right, cool. Have a lovely time, Harley. Enjoy time with your family and whatever. But yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be on too much longer today. But like I said, so what I might start doing is start trying to do shorts, but just on TikTok. Like people said, I should upload to Instagram a bit more and whatever else. But yeah, the plan is then to maybe just do streams like this, because YouTube isn't sharing the other streams properly. So maybe just do vertical streams on YouTube and the widescreen videos, and just keep reminding people I'm making the widescreen videos, and then just try and put stuff on some other platforms, maybe get monetized on there, because of how YouTube is just like I said, tanking their own platform through stupid decision after stupid decision. What does that stuff do, John? Let me look it up. I'm just looking at it. It treats nerve pain, epilepsy, and anxiety. Yeah, sounds good. Never been given that, though. That sounds like something that you shouldn't do, but I bet if you mix something like that with Valium or something like that, and then codeine, I bet that would feel like a really nice combination. Not that I'm obviously encouraging anyone to do that at all, and I don't know how... No, my most popular video, I'll check. I think it's still top 10 scariest gas masks is my most popular one. But the problem is, if I do like Amelia-style videos, a lot of the time they'll either get no views or get loads. And like I said, I'd rather keep my channel mostly, even though I don't mind talking about politics or whatever. But again, if I can't really do shorts on YouTube anymore, because they're just fucking over people for making shorts now, despite the fact they pushed everyone to do shorts a while ago, I mostly want to do surplus widescreen videos, but then YouTube won't share them. Again, maybe now and again I'll just do videos widescreen talking about stuff like that. But like I said, my most popular video I did recently, like the only one I did recently out of like the widescreen videos that got a decent amount of views, was what weapons are legal or illegal in the UK. And that hasn't got many views in a while. I'm going to go to the analytics, but I think it got quite a lot of views in the first couple of weeks, and now it's like stalled. Let me have a look. Yeah, so that video went from 0 views to 6K views in the first week or so. But then since then, it's got like maybe 100 more views in a couple of weeks to a month or whatever. Because that's the problem now with YouTube. A lot of the time, you can make a video that does well, even if it's a subject that people like, what they call like evergreen content that people might just organically search for. a lot of that stuff now like just seems to die on YouTube, where like YouTube's like, oh, that didn't do enough on our metrics for like the first 2 weeks, so now we're just hiding the video under like 30 other videos. So yeah, let me sort my videos by views, and I'll tell you what my most popular videos are. And this isn't shorts, this is normal videos. Top 10 scariest gas masks. That has 2.2 million views, and I have how to zero an air rifle scope, an old tutorial video. That has 1.6 million views. That used to get a lot more views, but then YouTube partially demonetized it and stopped showing it people because gun content, even though it was just a fucking 12 foot-pound air rifle. So it's even more safe technically than a semi-automatic 22 LR or whatever, because it was a muzzle brake air rifle, just showing people how to zero a scope properly. But no, let's demonetize that now. And I can't appeal it, no. Then some of my most popular videos are on lighters, because at some points I've just done videos on various lighters, because I like fucking about lighters, being a bit of a pyromaniac. But again, people that start fucking forest fires and that are scum. You know, you can like fire, but not like people setting random shit on fire, if that makes sense. So best types of lighter, 962k views. My lighter collection, 915k views. Electric arc lighters, how good are they? 887k views. Levels of respirator protection, where I went from like shitty half-face dust mask to proper half-face mask to full-face mask to rebreathers. 748k views. How to refill a butane lighter, 574k views. Interestingly, that's like one of those videos that people still watch now and again, because a lot of people, I guess, don't know how to refill a lighter. And that one is really good in the sense that the ad revenue is very good per like 1k views. So it's like, you know, like every 1,000 views makes a couple of pounds. Going just down the list a bit, Air Rifle Myths, Episode 1, Pellet Predators. Oh, I can appeal that. They fucking turned off ad revenue for that completely. Right, I'm going to request a human review on that. Because, yeah, fucking, oh, let's test how well air rifles go through different surfaces. Oh, no, that's completely like you had an automatic firearm kind of ban. When I can request reviews, I'll do it. The Pathways one is 258,000 views. That's got way more comments. That's very good for, like, comments engagement. And then it's a mix of, like, crossbows, air rifles, whatever else. Gas masks. But like I said, it's one of those things where it's very hit and miss whether YouTube shares your videos with a wider audience or not. Like I said, it used to be the case that you'd at least, a lot of your subs would watch the video. Because it used to be that if I uploaded a video, I'd say that 10% plus of my subs would watch it within the first week. So if I had 100k subs, you get about 10,000 views from your subs within the first week. Now, a lot of my videos don't even get to 1,000, despite the fact I have more subs now. Let me go back and look, John, because again, when I was looking at the videos, I wasn't reading comments. I could become a millionaire here on here if what was I going to say? If I had no fucking morals about just spamming out shit clickbait content. I'm not going to do that. If I did, I'd make a totally separate channel for it that wasn't related to this channel, so people wouldn't unsubscribe that like my actual content, because I'm just uploading shit. If you're on about affiliate links, I do that with a few things, but YouTube is pushing an affiliate kind of thing through their own thing, but the problem is only certain products are eligible for it, and it's very hit and miss what you can do with it. Like I said, AliExpress I've got an affiliate thing with. I did have one with eBay, and they got really shitty about certain milsurp things me doing affiliate links with, so I just said, fuck it, I'm not working with them. I didn't even get my first payout, even though it was worth like 30 odd quid, because they were like, oh, you have to appeal it now because you've not jumped through all the hoops. But like I said, with AliExpress, it's one of those things every few months I might get £20 or something from it. Because, you know, I can just do the thing where I can do an affiliate link to like some of the Chinese gas masks and that. And then for like $10, I might get 50 cents or something that people spend. But, you know, that's better than nothing. It's still extra money. But yeah. Yeah, public morale channel. Not all blank guns, but they just banned a shitload of them. And also because YouTube then demonetized those blank gun videos, I now know not only don't have those blank guns because I had to get rid of them because they became illegal, I can't make anything from the videos I did make on them. So there was no buyback. You essentially just lost all your money if you bought them. And then I thought, or at least I'll get a drip feed of money coming back in from the videos I did on them on YouTube, and then YouTube completely demonetizes the videos on the blank guns. Can you advertise your own website? Yes, but I don't have my own website. Other than like Patreon and whatever else. But yeah, I don't have my own website or whatever. But bear in mind, if you're in the comments trying to name websites, YouTube just hide your comments because YouTube basically has a list of nearly every website and just has it on their block list. Yeah, everything's getting worse and worse, isn't it, Popular Preps? Morning, Scott. I'm afraid I'll be off soon. I keep saying that. I've been on nearly 2 hours now, and then I was on an hour stream before this, which YouTube didn't share with anyone. But it is just getting hot and really uncomfortable in here. Has Satan replied to me yet about that night vision unit I was asking about? No. Anyway, I'll get the pictures done later, but I'm not going to list it till he's ready to buy it. Because I don't want somebody else snapping it up and then him feeling cheated that he didn't get it. Yeah, that's a shame, Brown Streak. At least you recovered from being homeless. Like I said, that's a really good thing. Well, like I said, it's awful that people become homeless. I don't know, but I know YouTube stopped people doing stuff like that, Kevin, because there were channels that used to do like live streaming gambling and stuff like that, and YouTube's totally banned that now. I don't know if they've stopped people opening loot boxes on streams, but they've certainly stopped people playing casino games on stream, even if it wasn't like for real money. Yeah, again, I'd have to get places that would sponsor me for that, John. And again, it's fairly hard to get sponsors that aren't bullshit ones. I do really appreciate the companies that do sponsor me properly now and again. But like I said, most of the time when I see emails about sponsorships, it's like where I have to give a good review for a product, even if I don't agree it's a good product, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to scam people that watch me like that. And it's also ones where like you have to make a certain number of videos doing certain things of the product, like, you know, some kind of like haul. So I'm not going to do that. Like I said, if it was products I was really interested in where they're like completely do your videos at your own pace, you know, we think it's a good product, so we're going to send it, you know, strings attached. As long as you do a video, I wouldn't mind. But the problem is a lot of the companies now don't operate on that one. Myra are not going to offer me money. I'm not in the US anyway, so Myra don't sell to the UK, I don't think. Yeah, Kevin, but like I said, when I did tell people about the eBay stuff where I was listing stuff, I could barely sell stuff on there, even when I was putting it for cheap. Because despite the fact sometimes people are like, oh, I'm interested in buying this, you put it on and then tell them, they're like, oh, never mind then. So yeah, like I said, with YouTube, there's definitely a degree of, you have to realize that lots of people like saying stuff in comments, but when push comes to shove, they don't want to actually buy stuff or whatever. Like I was saying to you in that private chat the other day, Kevin, COVID times are when it was really good for my channel, because I had furlough coming in not related to YouTube. I had YouTube income, loads of people interested in gas masks. People had more disposable income then because they were at home being paid to be at home. So they give me super chats way more. I had way more people supporting me on Patreon. It was all good. Yeah, I bet it's stuff like that, Kevin, that, yeah, people talk about buying stuff, but then it's, yeah, mum's credit card or whatever else. What country are you in, Lab Kid? But most countries have stupid laws, even if you're in the US. I bet there's stupid laws in the US. Like we were on about SBRs and all that the other day, even if that's maybe getting better. But anyway, I'll probably be off. Oh, that's good on the races. I have a TikTok, right? Let me look up what I am on TikTok. It's probably Weaponsandstuff93, and I'll link it. But like I said, I need to start making content on TikTok. I'm just trying to Google myself in TikTok. Weaponsandstuff93, Liam Robinson does not have an active TikTok account. Yes, well, it's not active, but I do have a TikTok. Annoyingly, I can't show you on my phone because of the fact it will stop the stream. But let me just go to TikTok and search for myself manually. I do have one. If not, what I will do is... right, for you. Messages. Hang on. Let me just TikTok.com. How do I get normal TikTok stuff up? profile. Yeah, here we go. I do have a TikTok. Look, Google is wrong. I've only got one video on there, but there you go. I do have a TikTok. I'm going to try and remember to upload to TikTok, because like I said, if I can get monetized on there, even if it's a pittance, it's still extra money, and it's still a way to chat with people that isn't YouTube if YouTube just stops sharing stuff. Well, so gun stores can display them, but they can't sell them. That's really weird. It is spelt wrong, but I think it was because somebody had either fake done my name. Can I rename my account? Or it was like, it suggested that one and I didn't realize it was misspelled. Edit profile. Oh, I can't. Right. Weapons. Let me do it properly like YouTube. Weapons, and I'll put the stuff with a capital 93. Yeah, I can have that. I'm just going to copy that across the bio. I'll put gas mask and militaria YouTuber. I'm going to change my profile picture on there to a gas mask picture. The same one as my YouTube channel. There we go. Apply. Save. You can only change your username once every 30 days and your nickname once every 7 days. Oh, I think that was probably what happened before. I realized it was spelt wrong, and then it was like, no, you have to wait 30 days to change it, and I forgot. So I've changed it. Profile has been updated. There we go. Look, there we go. Look, that's correct now. Very briefly, Lab Kid, I can, yes. Just for you before I go off. Oh, they were the horses that won, John. So I've got a charged up Radioscan 701A because I remembered to charge that the other day. Oh, it's your picks today, okay. I'll demonstrate how much an alpha counter shows Geiger compared to a normal one that can't pick up. Also, I can show you carbon 14 because I got that handy because that's also interesting as well. So here's AM241 from an industrial smoke alarm. Let's try and get that properly aligned with there. There you go. That's that. Here's carbon 14 from my German Geiger counter. Oh, did the other one go up to millisieverts, or did it just do no, it's just microsieverts, isn't it, that one? Right, cool. Like I said, don't forget I've got a Twitch as well, because I wouldn't mind if I can get enough people watching on Twitch, I can also stream on Twitch, and that might be better than YouTube if it's not as bad at deleting comments. So anyway, that's what an alpha counter's like, with an alpha plus gamma source and a very weak beta source that you can't pick up with normal counters, or barely pick up. Now let me show you with I think it's the Rad Pro one I've got out, not the other one, but that will do, on the GAQ GMC. So even though carbon 14 is a beta source, you'll notice not really much is happening there. It's, I think, a little bit higher, but it's because carbon 14 is such a low penetrating beta thing, like you essentially need an alpha probe to pick it up, or an open air ionization chamber. And here's that Americinium.
82.56 microsieverts per hour.
So see that this is only like a quarter of the dose you were getting with the alpha detecting counter.
3.12 microsieverts per hour.
Yeah, Kevin, because at least then, oh, Rajiv's on. Right, Rajiv, you're forcing me to stay on a bit longer now. But yeah, like I said, because it's hot and that, I've just not been feeling great. So I kept saying I'll go off. But yeah, typical thing, Rajiv. Did a game stream earlier. Nobody watched it on, well, one of the militaria guys watched it. That was it. And then I thought after about an hour, nobody watching that, I thought, fuck it, I'll do a normal one. That was in sieverts, microsieverts, and millisieverts. But yeah, that carbon 14. You're live again. YouTube is lit then. What was I going to say with that? So yeah, I'll just post it again for anybody new in the chat. There's my TikTok if you want to follow that. I'm going to try and upload to it more regularly. Right, Rajiv, there's right, so YouTube's doing something really shit. I'm going to tell anybody that missed this the other couple of times I've done it, and I've done a short on this. So YouTube, despite trying to get people to move to shorts, guess what they've done now? What they've done, I'll tell you because obviously you want to know, is that they've decided as of February next year, and this is a terms and agreement you have to sign, or you're kicked off of YouTube or whatever as a creator, is you have no option to sign it. And again, I've got too much to lose on here, so of course I've signed it. But what YouTube is going to do is, as of February next year with shorts, what happens is that you have to get 10 million verified views, not even just simple normal views, per month on a rolling, per 3 months, 90 days, on a rolling thing. If you drop down that, you get completely demonetized from shorts. I bet YouTube will still run adverts on it and take 100% of the money, but you get completely demonetized. They're saying this is to fight all the AI slop and crap on shorts. But what it's going to do is only encourage people to spam out as many crap short videos as possible that are clickbait, rage farming, engagement farming, AI slop. And what's going to happen is it's literally going to just do that. So people who can spam out 20 plus videos a day will be able to keep up that view count and be monetized. Everybody else is just going to be demonetized from it. Yeah, but as you know, Rajiv, YouTube is shit for notifications. Yeah, like I said, it used to be good at one point, John. Like I said, years ago, if people said to me, I'd like to get into YouTube, I just said, yeah, that's great. It's a great thing to do on the side of a real job. And, if you do really well on it, maybe it could become a proper income. Now I'd actually say to people, why would you bother? Because they keep putting more and more hurdles in place of everything. They keep, telling you to do one thing and then deciding, no, we want you to do something else. And wow, you wasted all that time doing that other content we told you to do. Oh, you're saying you always tend to. So yeah, like I said, my Twitch, let me link people to my Twitch. I've literally linked you to my TikTok, my Twitch for anybody that wants to follow me on Twitch. I'll stream Bloodborne on points on there and maybe other games. Oh, speaking of that, apparently, I think this is what Kevin was saying yesterday, I need to turn my PS5 on the side. Because apparently PS5s, if you run them vertical too long, the metal cooling inside or whatever it is, the liquid metal cooling, fucks up and they overheat and keep shutting down, like a bit like a 360 Red Ring of Death. But apparently if you keep the PS5 on its side, it's fine because it's not working against gravity. Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's a case of they don't want to admit they're running out of server space. So they're just going to do that. But again, it's a weird thing. They're not stopping you making the shorts. It's just a fucking thing of you need to get so many views. I think it's just so they can get loads of extra money coming in. Because like I said, what will end up happening is, like I said, is that nearly all creators, even channels that I subscribe to that have like 1 million plus subs, because they don't do shorts as the only thing. They do, like mostly proper videos and do a couple of shorts per week. They will not get, like they said, they don't get even at this threshold 10 million verified views. Because that doesn't mean 10 million views. It means 10 million views from accounts YouTube considers verified, which massively cuts the numbers down. Because it probably means, you can't just watch from a browser without being logged in or whatever to count towards it. So what ends up happening, yeah, I know, John, but anyway, like I was saying, what's going to end up happening is that, yeah, all of the channels that would make informative shorts for people that didn't have the time to watch a widescreen video are just going to stop because there's no incentive. Why make shorts if you're not going to earn anything from it? And then shorts are going to be nothing but the absolute shit nobody wants to watch because they're doing lowest common denominator spam-like stuff. I really don't know, Kevin. They've just said verified views. But like I said, I reckon why this is because it means 90+% of shorts will now fall below this margin. And now that they fall below this margin, YouTube is just going to take 100% of the revenue from them. So I think it's just so YouTube can just literally claw back more money for doing nothing. Can I keep complaining about this? Sure. I might do tomorrow a widescreen video, a longer one, talking about this and all the implications I think it will have on the platform. Yeah, Lab Kid, like I said, it's not going to be just small channels. It's going to be even medium to big channels. They're just going to keep fucking the algorithm over till it's basically nothing but... Again, it's dead internet theory, isn't it? It's going to be people view-botting onto videos of fucking, like, AI slop mass-farmed content. So it's literally going to be dead internet theory. Yeah, I think it is dead internet theory. I think we're there now with YouTube. Dead internet theory. That's what they want to turn shorts into. People botting for views on spammed out shit content. You keep telling me about Muse, Rajiv. Again, I don't dislike Muse, but again, I was mostly listening to quite old music recently. Actually. When I say old, I mean like 1950s or older. I might watch the Battle of the Bulge later if it's not too hot in this room. I feel like watching that. But yeah, we need the YouTube. But yeah, oh, and if people don't have my Twitter, I will also link my Twitter. So you followed me on Twitch. Let me link to my Twitter. X.com. I'll link to my Patreon, should be in the description. But for anyone interested in my Twitter, here's my Twitter /X. So, you know, if, where's the tab where this is open? Where's the tab gone? Oh, all the way over there. There's my X. Like I said, what I can do with X is share stuff to X now and again, so at least people manually, you know, check it out. I'm just going to manually on X put a link to my Forshida gas mask test from the other day, just to see if that gets it some more views. Get shareable link. Go to X. How do I make a post on X? I can see where my edit profile button is. Oh, post, the big thing on the left. I thought it'd just be a box at the top. Post. So yeah, you can follow me on there, follow me on Patreon, like I said, follow me on all platforms, so if YouTube gets worse and worse, you might at least do, what, am I frightened to open the window? Firstly, I don't have a window that opens to the outside here, because I'm in like an interior room, which is great. It's awful. And a lot of the windows, if you open them outside, it's hotter than inside the house, so you're just letting heat in. Why isn't it letting you follow on TikTok? I will, if I don't feel too bad about doing it later. Yeah, that's why I can't open the window, yeah. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll just try and do a quick, another short little video on TikTok, just to say I'm going to try and regularly upload to here. I might do a video on, do you know how long you can do it? Let me Google it. How long can you make a TikTok video? So TikTok limits depend on whether you record inside the app or upload pre-record video. Video records directly in app have a maximum length of 10 minutes. The uploaded device can be up to 60 minutes long. The minimum length is 3 seconds. Fucking hell, I thought TikTok was literally like 3 minutes like YouTube Shorts or less. That's good to know. And if I upload, so I can film, can you do widescreen on TikTok or just vertical? Can you do widescreen on TikTok or just vertical? You can post widescreen videos on TikTok. Okay, well, that's good news. Okay, I really hope the Chinese are trying to compete with YouTube now. Please, 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 Xi Jinping. You know, I love you, China. I love you, China. I will show China. Please make a good alternative to YouTube, like Bilibili or whatever, and let white Guilos like me or whatever we're called be monetized on it. Please, please, I love you, Mr. G. Tits talk, yeah. But I said I wouldn't have bothered, John. It's just the fact I know that as YouTube gets shitter, we're going to need alternatives to it. What else does it say? Can you live stream on TikTok? To go live on TikTok, open the app, tap the plus button, bottom side. You can go live on TikTok. I must have at least 1,000 followers to use this feature, though. So I can't do that yet. But yeah, I will probably now try and get a lot more motivated to try and remember to put stuff on TikTok. Just simply because of the fact, like I said, the worse YouTube gets, I really need to be on more platforms, even if those other platforms aren't. Like I said, it does seem like TikTok is trying to get more into proper videos now, not just somebody dancing for 15 seconds. Like rage baiting videos about women in like offices not doing any work. Gen Z boss, that sort of thing. Like I said, I wouldn't mind streaming more on Twitch if people watch me on there, but like I said, you need to watch me. I do have a Twitch, Lab Kid. Let me link you again. I have a Twitch. I've told people I have a Twitch and people don't watch it. Yeah, like I said, Rajiv, I don't mind streaming on Twitch, but like I said, it's just I need to get really enough people on there, because if you're not on, there's almost going to be nobody on speaking to me. That's the problem. But that's my Twitch. If I stream on Twitch, it will probably be in the evenings, UK time, like 7 p.m, 8 p.m. sort of time. What's an alert clip, Rajiv? What do you mean by that? Yeah, I'm playing Bloodborne at the moment, so I'll happily stream some more Bloodborne on Twitch. But like I said, I just need enough people following me that there's a bit of a chat going on, rather than me just going, oh, nobody's on. Nobody's on. Because, yeah, like I said, YouTube is broken. I reckon it might actually be YouTube, not Sony, seeing how bad YouTube's getting, have broken the live stream to YouTube feature of the PS5. It works still on Twitch, doesn't work on YouTube. I wonder what would be a equivalent Gen Z boss. Mobic Z soldier in a GP5. Here comes a drone. Here comes a drone. I don't actually know how the song goes. I still don't quite get what they are, Rajiv. You might have to send me a thing on Steam or whatever, explaining it properly in another thing, or like link me to an article about it. Is it what, like, where it lets you do a tiny little clip from a video on TikTok, or what was it? Sorry. Or were you on about a different thing? Because here's the thing, if the Zoomers are using TikTok more than YouTube, and I can do little informative history shorts for them on TikTok, and they learn something rather than believing AI slop history, I think that would be a good thing. Again, John, the problem is setting your own shit up is all the hosting fees. Okay, I don't really get how it works, but okay, you can explain it to me properly somewhere else. But Mobic chilling in a coat cage, sucking on the rosary beads, kissing all the rosary beads. T-72 turret in the air. Oh, no goes that my Wild Breeze dildos have been burnt down. Anyway, I'll be off now because, like I said, I've been on 2 hours and 10 minutes. And like I said, I really need some food now because I'm quite hungry, and like, you know, my sugar levels probably aren't good. I'm not diabetic, but you know, I just don't think I've been eating enough. Just have one with me do it. I'm not going to do the arm movement on YouTube, but I was just thinking of a bit of a German arm movement, like salute as a little thing. But yeah. Right, anyway, have a good one, everybody. Like I said, make sure to follow me on the other platforms if you don't, because YouTube's getting less and less reliable. I need some food. A Saint got back to me about that thing. No, he hasn't. Okay, hopefully he'll get back to me later. Anyway, yeah, have a good one, everybody. Yeah, so I'll see you all. Like I said, if enough people follow me on TikTok and the weather cools down a bit later, I might stream on TikTok. Not TikTok, sorry. I need even more followers for TikTok. I mean Twitch. But like I said, I am going to try in the next few days of uploading a bit to TikTok and whatever else. Even if, like I said, and just see how it goes. Because like I said, I might as well post bits now and then to there and see if I can get some people following me on there. Right, anyway, have a good one, everyone. See you all. Hope you don't overheat because it's stupidly hot. Yeah, see you all. Goodbye.